YouTube's practices are immoral. I had a YouTube channel before this one, and on it, I tried to get help because I couldn't get the police anywhere to do their goddamn jobs. I couldn't get the police anywhere to do anything other than fucking victimize me over slander. I needed to be allowed to defend myself so that I could stop this violence against me over the slander. It is one thing to say, hey, we can't do anything about slander. It is another thing entirely to avoid doing your job when someone is fucking harmed over that slander and people end up dead over that slander. Meanwhile, my first YouTube is gone. Why is that? Because YouTube wouldn't do anything about my predators or their harassment. The police here in Chapel wouldn't do anything about my predators or their harassment. Which predators are we talking about in specific? We are talking very specifically about Ted and Alicia Bollinger at my grandma's funeral. By that point, I had already spent 3 or 4 months trying to get fucking help. To get these predators to stop the things that they had been doing. I had already gone through 3 months over 3 months since Natalie had died, where I'm having to deal with police officers still not doing their job. Police officers still using the mentally ill tag to try to cover their wrong fucking doings. What they did was straight up vigilante. They didn't care about the validity of the allegations. They assumed my guilt and punished me without a court of law. Officer Waylon Lolatai assaulting me was just one of literally hundreds of examples in the last 3 years. My predators were allowed to abuse me, and no matter what direction that I went to try to show the truth, it somehow magically doesn't work. They tell me I got to call the Nebraska Attorney General's office. I did that many times. They tell me I got to call the FBI because the FBI are the ones who need to deal with internet cyber stalking and gang stalking as well. The FBI says it's not their fucking job. It says specifically on their website that that is their job. Just like Tara Smith telling me that protecting an abused, at-risk adult is not her job. But you go to their website, and yes, that is literally her fucking job. When you are a disabled person without a family, there is a very, very short list of people that you can call and actually get help. Most of those places are just going to give you lip service. They just want the free money. I went to these mental health places to get help with the abuse that I had to endure, to get help protecting myself from these predators, because all they have to do is call me mentally ill and they get away with it. They call me mentally ill and it's okay that Don Bird assaulted me. They call me mentally ill and it's okay that Ken and Leah stole my money. They call me mentally ill. And it's okay that Natalie and Alicia had their friends physically fucking harm me over crimes that I didn't even fucking commit. Any excuse is a good excuse, right? I want to show the truth in a court of law. And all of these people who promised to help me to do that and then didn't keep their word, made bullshit excuses that obviously aren't true. If they were true, then these people would have come forward about it in court. If the things that these people were saying were true, they would have actually gone in with me to talk to the police. Why didn't they? Because they were lying out their fucking teeth at me. Or they're legit scared. They are legit scared of the cops like they said they are. But if that's the case, those police need to be dealt with. YouTube doesn't give a fuck about the truth. Facebook doesn't give a fuck about the truth. If you take most of the bullshit that women are typing about how terrible men are, if you replace the word men with women and someone complains that it's sexist, it'll be removed. But if you complain that it's sexist as it stands, saying men, it won't be removed. So Facebook algorithms are even set up so that sexism is okay for women. Socially acceptable sexism, imagine that. Now you want to treat me like I owe you for the crimes of every man who ever existed in the past. But I'm not allowed to hold you responsible for the crimes that you fucking personally committed. I owe you for being black because you want to assume that my ancestors owned your ancestors, when it is quite the contrary. My ancestors were owned by yours. So, do I owe you because there were slave owners in the United States 200 years ago? Do I personally owe you for that? Do I owe you for crimes committed by others because of my skin color? Because if you're going to hold me responsible for the crimes of others, then I am going to hold you responsible for your crimes. If you're going to hold me responsible for all the slavery in the United States, then I'm going to hold you responsible for shooting a woman in the head for saying all lives matter. You know, that woman dedicated her life to helping others. She helped homeless people. She helped human beings regardless of their color. She got to see with her own two eyes what you guys are. You're not too blind to see it. You're literally looking the other way so you can pretend it's not happening. This woman realized that it's not just happening to black folks. The police, over half of the people that they killed last year were called, well, they were disabled. In most of those cases, they were called mentally ill to justify it, and those cops did walk free. In nearly every one of those cases. Nearly half of those killed by police are homeless. Did you know that there are women who are disabled and women who are homeless? Did you know that there are black people who are disabled and black people who are homeless? You want to pretend that these people were murdered for being black. Chances are pretty good that they were murdered for being homeless. Chances are good that somebody called them mentally ill and the cops used that as justification for murder. Fuck this goddamn country. Seriously. I need help. But then I'm busy running around doing things for other people because I need their help. That guy with the fucking that needs my help at between 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock today, I need him to come forward in court about that situation with Sandy Fromm. Also, he's well aware of the fact that I'm not schizophrenic. I need him to sign that piece of paper. But if I don't jump through his hoops, he's probably not going to help me. I also know from experience that just because I do jump through the hoops doesn't mean they're actually going to help me. He doesn't like lip service any more than I do. I didn't give you lip service. When I told you I was going after the child molesters, I meant it. When I told you that I wasn't willing to kill them, that I was going to expose them, I meant it, and I kept my word. But having my disabilities taken advantage of, having my disabilities used as an excuse why it's okay to deny me the right to the evidence that I'm requesting, that it is okay because of that to deny me my right to a fair trial, deny me my right to feel safe in my own fucking home, deny me the rights that a fucking kid has. I mean, shit, I'm a grown-ass adult. If I want to allow a friend to come over and sleep on my fucking couch for one fucking night, and the pamphlet for that low income says that they can do so for up to 14 days, but you want me to have them fill out the paperwork to live there, for them to stay for one fucking night. Cindy Taylor, you don't give a fuck about the rules. You care about control. There are the rules that you are supposed to follow that are in that handbook. You don't follow those rules. You don't follow those rules. I have the right to all of the information that I asked Cindy Taylor for. That she repeatedly played fucking retarded when she knew exactly what I was asking for. And when I clarified, she said, okay, I'll get it for you. And then the next time, she starts off playing fucking retarded again. The last time with Cindy Taylor with that bullshit was with her fucking boss in the room. And what did she do? For the 5th time, she played fucking retarded like she didn't know what I was asking for. But at least I explained it in front of her boss so that her boss could fucking hear it. And guess what? Her boss fucking quit. And there's a new replacement moron. I fucking hate newbies. I need help stopping the abuse. I can't stop the abuse as long as I am cut off at the fucking knees because I need help. Because I need help, I am not allowed to have enough money to hire a fucking lawyer or they take away my disability money. I am not allowed to have anything worth $2,000 or they take away my disability money. If you count everything in here, how much it would cost brand new, you're probably looking at, well, $3,000 to $4,000 worth of stuff. But I didn't get this shit brand new because I dug it out of the garbage and made it work. Now it's got value. Now it can be used to deny me what I need in order to survive. Because of the slander against me and because of the way that I have been treated by the courts and by the police and by my own fucking public pretenders, I cannot take care of myself. No matter how many times you tell me how to do things or tell me to do things that I'm not capable of, it does not give me the capability to do those things. If you tell me to run away when I'm attacked by somebody, you are telling me to do something that I cannot do. I literally cannot run. Literally, I cannot run. If the difference between your kid getting ran over by a car or me running out and saving your fucking kid, your kid's gonna fucking die. Not because I don't want to help your kid, but because I can't fucking run. So when your advice is to tell me to run away, your advice is shit. Sure, that's a smart fucking idea for somebody who can do it. But no matter how many times I explain to you that I can't run away, you assume that because I'm autistic, I'm fucking retarded. And somehow I am too fucking stupid to know the difference between being able to run and not being able to run. Do I really come across as someone who is so incredibly stupid that they don't know what running is? And then you want to make excuses saying, oh, you just don't want to. Oh, you're just not trying. Let me tell you how hard I was trying when I was in Tacoma, Washington, being victimized up there by the homeless and the police. Let me tell you what that was like. I saw that tow truck driver backing up to my vehicle. I was all the way over at Starbucks. It's across the street. I wasn't literally at Starbucks. I was walking through the part where, when you first come into that little mall outlet, where you would turn in to go to the Starbucks. But I literally went to go use the bathroom right after putting $5 of gas into my vehicle that was out of gas. But I had to fucking pee. And when I got done peeing, I went out there and I saw this tow truck driver. Big, ginormous behemoth of a fucking man. I have never seen a fat boy move that fast. Ever. When I saw him backing up to my vehicle, I'm like, holy fuck, I'm literally getting ready to move it. I literally, after sitting there all morning trying to come up with enough money to put some gas in my vehicle so that I can move it somewhere, I finally get gas in it, and my vehicle is now getting towed because rather than just pissing outside because I didn't want to get in trouble, I went and peed in an actual bathroom. Now, when I saw that guy backing up to my vehicle, I hobbled across that fucking street as fast as I fucking could. And he saw me. And when he saw me, his fat ass jumped into fucking skinny mode. And he did everything 10,000 miles an hour. He wanted his fucking money. That's what he wanted. He didn't care that he was fucking over someone who had been repeatedly victimized for fucking years. My last visit to Tacoma, Washington, I was literally victimized every single fucking day that I was there. Every fucking day. People stealing my shit. People breaking my stuff. People taking advantage of the fact that I was being a decent fucking person. Like that fucking bitch that stole my phone. She said she was in an unsafe situation and she needed to use my phone. It was an emergency. And then she ran off with it. One of the guys who stole my fucking computer, the one that Officer Schneider let get away, yeah, that guy asked me for a shirt. I said, give me a couple of minutes. And guess what? He wasn't interested in a shirt. He was interested in stealing my shit. And the cops didn't do a goddamn thing about it. They never do. I am not a human being to any cop in this country. Homeless people don't fucking matter. You don't fucking care. You are not going to hold the cops responsible for not doing their jobs if it only results in the death of a homeless person. Well, who gives a fuck? They're homeless. They're all junkies. Isn't that what you think? Isn't that the rhetoric that you fucking spread? Meanwhile, about 25% of homeless people are addicts. Whether it be alcohol or heroin or fucking methamphetamines or fucking pills, about 25%. Here in Chapel, Nebraska, we're looking at 40% of the population addicted to alcohol. That's just alcohol. In alcohol alone, there is a higher percentage of addicts in houses in Chapel, Nebraska than there is addicts out on the fucking street. Now you got to look at the meth addiction. We're probably looking at an additional 20%. And then let's look at the pill poppers. The pill poppers think they're better than everybody. See, the alcoholics, despite the fact that they are responsible for the majority of the violence, the majority of the drama, the majority of the deaths, and their excuse, the reason that they want to hate everybody else, well, my justification, alcohol is legal. Alcohol is legal. Alcohol is legal. And then you got the pill poppers. Well, at least I'm not an alcoholic. At least I'm not an alcoholic. At least I'm not an alcoholic. When you were called mentally ill, all of these places that you're telling me to go to for help, they're not going to do a goddamn thing unless you go in with me, which I've been explaining almost my entire life. So you guys should be listening to my experiences. and fuck this goddamn country. You pretend I'm a bad person for defending myself. You pretend I am the predator. Like, if you look away from the things that Ted Bollinger did, and you look away from the things that Alicia did, and you look away from the things that Rochelle Shelley Campbell and Danica Garner and Rose M. Self did, you literally have to look away from all of the things those people did to me in order to justify the evil shit that you're doing. In order to justify the crimes that you are committing, you have to pretend that all of this doesn't exist. The cops had to pretend that I was crazy as their justification for ignoring the harm that I was repeatedly enduring and continue to endure to this day. Brenda Dickinson kept on telling me that Pam was coming over and telling her about what people in town were saying about me, and about how people in town were talking about lynching me and killing me and taking me out into a field in the middle of fucking nowhere. And when I say, hey, Brenda, you need to come forward in court about that. Oh, no, she can't be bothered to do that. Well, Brenda, if you're not willing to come forward in court, then you were just manipulating. Why were you manipulating the situation like that, Brenda? Why were you lying to me, Brenda Dickinson? If you weren't lying to me, you could come forward in court about those things. If you can't come forward in court, then it means that you obviously are hiding something. Most of these people, the things that they told me, wanted to throw a fucking tantrum when I recorded them telling me those things, like I was a bad person for showing the truth. If I'm being assaulted by the public, then I'm going to do my damnedest to show the public the truth. If they don't want to see it, then I am well within my rights to kill anybody who tries to kill me over this bullshit. What's the difference between these fucking pieces of shit and myself? These people want to kill someone. They want blood. They want their bread and goddamn circus. And I don't want anybody fucking killed. But the more you fucking harass me and tell me that I should be killed, the more I'm going to say that these people who did nothing deserve that punishment. The people who committed those crimes deserve that punishment. If you're going to threaten my life over these people, and then you want to play victim when I threaten your life back, you know how many people had to threaten my life and actually physically harm me before I threatened anyone back? Do you know how many people did that? Do you know how long they did those things? And the entire time that they were doing those things, to the present day, the police won't do shit about it. I have to go to cops who have repeatedly not done their jobs and repeatedly committed felonies to cover for their fellow officers. And these are the only people I can go to. And then they say, oh, well, you know, you got to go down to Colorado for the services that you need. We don't have shit in the western Nebraska panhandle. Well, I already knew that. I knew that before Natalie fucking died. I was getting spouted that same bullshit by Nicole Peralta in Sydney. Sean, you really need to go to Colorado. There's more services there. And I hooked up with that scenario. I was like, yeah, I am totally down with that. Of course, there was that safety issue in Colorado. But I needed actual help, not lip service. When I moved to Colorado, or back to Colorado, rather, I thought Natalie was still in fucking Virginia. Well, you pretend that I moved to Colorado to harass Natalie. No, I went to Colorado to get help. Help that I couldn't get in the western Nebraska panhandle. I went to where Nicole Peralta told me I should go. Where did she tell me I should go? She specifically said the Front Range in Colorado. So specifically, I went to the Front Range in Colorado. You claim my intelligence as your excuse why it's okay for these things to happen to me. You look entirely away from the desperate situation that I was forced into, or the fact that people ignored my intelligence by calling me mentally ill. These police officers knew that they did wrong before Natalie died. After Natalie died, they have been invested in hiding their own crimes. Scott DaCosta did not commit any crimes towards me before Natalie was killed. All of the crimes that he has committed against me have been to cover up for his officers, and now to cover up for his own crimes. Scott DaCosta's crimes were all committed after Natalie's death. All of them. Before Natalie's death, I didn't even know the motherfucker existed. I knew we had a sheriff. I didn't know his name. Shit, that fat guy who told me that he had real police work to do. It could have just as easily been Scott DaCosta as Jared Hahn. I didn't know one from another. I didn't know any of these Chapel cops at the time that this happened. I had to learn Scott DaCosta's name later on. Now, who were the officers who worked for the Dual County Sheriff's Department at the time? If they could sit down with me and show me pictures of those officers, I could identify my assailants. Is assailant the right word? Yes, it is in this scenario. Those officers chose to victimize me by telling me that they have real police work to do and that I just need to man up. I am an at-risk adult who can be abused at any point in time, and people can get away with it by calling me mentally ill. But when I go to the cops and they do the same exact goddamn thing, holy fuck, we live in a fucked up goddamn country. Pretty people and rich people can do whatever they want. But a poor person can't even get away with telling the fucking truth. Fuck this goddamn country.